Friday, friends. Welcome back to the channel. If you are new, welcome. I'm so glad you're here. Today I'm going to be talking about where the very seed was planted in my brain for the concept of frugal living and minimalism. Long before there was the minimalists or becoming minimalists, who are great inspiration for living a minimalist lifestyle, there was Leo Babauta. And there still is Leo Babauta, but I feel like we don't hear about him as much as we hear about some of the others as of late. Leo is a husband and a father of 6 children. Leo started a blog called Zen Habits. And Zen Habits caught my attention back in 2007, and it planted the seed of the idea that there could be a better way, or a way that fit my lifestyle more, to make my life more joyful, more simplified, and one that I was very proud of. I remember whenever I felt a little out of control, a little overwhelmed, I would always go to Zen Habits to center myself. And there is one blog post in particular that caught my attention that changed everything for me. And I'm not even sure if I hadn't come across this blog that I would have this channel today, even though this blog post was 12 years ago. It planted the seed. I know I just said planted the seed like 3 times, but it's not even in the forefront of my mind that that is where it all began. But when I think back, it is where it all began because of Leo and this one blog post that I read it at the time probably 50 times because I thought, really? We can live like this? People really do live this way? Huh. This sounds like something I want to try. And I definitely did. Let's have some fun with this today. What I'm going to do is I'm going to link his blog post down below. If you can, pull it up either on, if you're on a desktop or on your phone or on another device if you can, so that you can read along while I'm telling you his tips. And I'm going to talk about whether I do these or whether I don't currently. Leo elaborates more on each tip, but I'm going to just share the tip and then talk about whether I do it, and you can think about whether you do it or not. Or if you don't do it, if it's something that might be something you want to try. Some of these, obviously, you've heard before. Maybe I've even talked about them. It's kind of some of like the, some mainstream ideas, but some are a little bit more extreme and some are a little less extreme. So let's just get started. Ready? Here we go. Oh, and last thing, he uses the word cheapskate, but he actually addresses that right at the beginning of the blog. So read his little reason why he says cheapskate. Cheapskate and frugal are not necessarily intertwined, as you know, but just read his little explanation of why he called it that. Number 1, go with one car. Obviously, I go with one car. I am the only adult in the house and we only need one car. Number 2, go with a smaller house. I am also doing that because could I afford a little bit bigger house? Yes. Am I choosing to stay in a smaller space that I can afford? Yes. Number 3, go with a smaller car. For me, I was in a smaller car that used to get stuck in the snow. You guys know I live in Maine, and I was one time almost stranded in the snow, and I had my son in the car. Luckily, I was able to get out of it, but I have a slightly bigger car, not like a big SUV, but like one of those mid-size ones that I feel very safe in, and that is what I choose to do, and I think you guys probably have seen. I'll link the story of how I paid off my car so you know that I don't have car payments. Number 4, rent rather than own. And he says, the first line, as you'll see, it says, this will probably spark a huge debate as it always does. I'm not going to get into that today. I do rent right now, but that's kind of another story. I won't get into it right now, but I do rent currently, but I do very much understand the benefits of home ownership and hope to get there someday. But I also do see the many benefits of renting. Current. Number 5 is look for used first. The best example I'd say of used things that we get is hand-me-downs for clothes for Kaden. We have a friend, I've said this before, she gives us all her hand-me-downs, so almost all of Kaden's clothes are hand-me-downs, and they're awesome. I say they're probably better than what I would normally buy if it weren't hand-me-downs, so if you can look for used first, awesome. Number 6, eat out less. Hello, we talk about this all the time. You know that can rack up so much money, and you can save so much money by eating at home, of course. Number 7, oh, hello? KSQUAD, are you there? Are you there? Number 7 is if you do eat out frugally. Of course, there's ways to save money if you are gonna go out, get a less expensive meal, don't get a drink water. There's some very small things you can do to not spend a ton. And that, I mean, that's like, could be a whole video in and of itself, but basically if you eat out, eat frugally. He actually links to another article with all the ways that you can eat out frugally, so check that out. Number 8, brown bag it to work. What do I tell you all the time? Make your lunch at home and bring it. I am doing that right now hardcore. I used to kind of slip up once in a while, like, I forgot my lunch, I'll just go buy it. Right now, because of my job duties have changed a little, I really have very little time at lunch, so I always bring my food, but also because I bring a way healthier lunch than what I would go buy, and obviously it saves me a ton of money, so bring your own lunch. You know that one. Number 9, Leo says, adopt a minimalist wardrobe. I love this one because there's so many reasons I love this one. He talks about, he likes plain colors the most, solid prints. He says, plain solid colors are my favorite. Everything goes with everything, and I don't have too many clothes. This saves me the stress of picking out an outfit, and I don't need as many clothes. I love this concept because I used to have a really weird wardrobe. I still kind of do. Even this right now, I'm about to go to a brunch with my family, so I'm a little bit more dressed than I would be. But I think if you have a few colors that you really like I really like blacks and grays and white. There's other stuff that I like, but if you have everything matching everything, then whatever you pick out is going to match, and it's awesome, and it's easy, and it helps cut down on your decision fatigue. Have you heard about decision fatigue? There's just so many decisions we have to make in the day. If you don't have to stress about your outfit, it's one less thing you got to worry about. Number 10 is stop online impulse buys. This is a hard one for many of us. It's, tale as old as time. You go on Amazon to buy some cat food, and the next thing you know, you're 20 items deep in stuff you don't need. Back when I moved back to Florida, I went to college in Florida for 4 years, came back to Maine, froze my tail off. I was single. I was like, I don't want to be here. Moved back to Florida, and I racked up about $10,000 on a credit card. It was off the rails. I remember being so in disbelief that I had done that, and I couldn't even believe, the balance. My minimum payment, I want to say, and this was so long ago, but was like $300 to $500 a month. And some of you are even worse than that, and so you understand that. But it really feels horrible. So to stop the online impulse buys, there's a million ways to learn how to stop that habit. I think I have finally gotten a hold of that one. I don't even remember the last time I went crazy on an impulse buy online. Number 11 to Leo's Cheapskate guide is don't shop. And some of you are like, what? What'd you just say? But many of you don't shop. We've talked about this too. I think that a lot of people actually have implemented this no spend week, day of the week, month, and I've even seen year. There's a TED Talk about that, a no spend year. And again, I am going to spend, but I'm going to spend frugally. So yes, I don't shop mindlessly. I'm very intentional in what I purchase. Number 12, he says, use a 30-day list. I've definitely heard of that before. If you're gonna buy something, wait 30 days, especially if it's something bigger. Wait 30 days and see how you really feel about it. And then if you're still wanting to buy it, then do that. I don't think I ever really consciously do that. No. Number 13, the classic cutout cable. I hate this tip so much, even though I've probably said it in one other video, probably my first video. Yeah, cut your cable. If you really want to cut something, that's always the first thing. I cut mine a couple years ago and I don't miss it at all. Number 14, use the library. You've heard me say this one several times. Me and Kaden go about every 2 weeks. Yeah. Use the library. Speaking of the library, there was a book that I wanted to read. I don't know if I already told you guys this, but there was a book I wanted to read and they didn't have it, and they didn't have it in any of the surrounding libraries that they borrow from. So the woman was like, "Oh, well, we'll buy it for you." Huh? I couldn't believe it. Do your libraries do that? She said, "Oh, it looks like something relevant that other people would want, so we'll purchase it." Huh! $15 saved. Boom. Sometimes all you got to do is ask. Number 15, find free entertainment. We talk about this all the time too. I think I talked about many of it in my ways to save money this summer, but there's so many things, you guys, that you can do for free. And actually, if you click on that link, it links to, I think it's 100 ways to have fun for free. So check that out. Number 16 is frugal exercise. This one has been on my brain lately, and I almost thought about doing a whole video on it, but I'm not sure if I want to because I don't want to make it complicated. Frugal exercise is walking, swimming, running, cleaning your house, using the stairs more, getting up and moving around more, or if you're going to go the actual exercises route, push-ups, lunges, crunches, all things that require no equipment and just moving more. Babe, what is your favorite way to exercise?
Sit-ups.
You like sit-ups? Yeah. Is there any other exercises you like?
Push-ups.
Push-ups? So push-ups and sit-ups, those are your favorite?
Yeah.
You want to be really strong, huh? Yeah. Number 17 is stay healthy. And he says, easier said than done, I know, but staying healthy can save you tons of money on doctor's visits, hospital bills, and medicine over the long run. Obviously, right? There are some cases you're going to get sick, you're going to be ill, of course, but in general, if you are practicing the frugal exercise and eating healthy, you have a much better chance of being healthy and not having to end up with big doctor bills. Number 18, he says, commute by bike. Do I do this? Absolutely not. Do I think that it could be a great option for some people? Sure. Number 19 is carpool or ride the bus. I do not do either of these currently, but that's definitely an option. Number 20 is walk. Yes, walk as much as you can. That makes sense. Walking is good for you and will save you a lot on gas if you can just walk to simple errands. But if you can't, just walk in general for pleasure or for health. Number 21, sell your clutter. We talk about this all the time. I'll leave a video here of when I decluttered Kaden's toy room. Speaking of Kaden. Sell your clutter. Yes, yes, yes. Number 22, frugal gifting. If you've been watching my channel for any amount of time, you know I'm a recovering overgiver. So frugal gifting is a great idea. I have a frugal gifting video here, and I am very, very, very serious about working on my gifting and not overgiving to save money. Number 23, quit smoking. I have never been a smoker, so I have not had to try to quit, but that is a definite huge savings and lifesaver. Number 24, alcohol in moderation. This is one I'm already practicing. Number 25. Woo, we're halfway through. Halfway through, everybody take a sip of something. Sweets in moderation. I've talked about this before because I've had to cut down. I have a huge sweet tooth and I've had to cut back, and it has saved so much money when you're not buying sweets every single week. Number 26, drink water. I just talked about this in my last video. Heck yeah. Number 28 is stay home. You guys know I love this one. I stay home as often as possible. It's my favorite thing. And I have a video about staying home on weekends. I'll link that here. I don't know how many videos I can link. I think you can only link 5, and I feel like every time I'm like, oh, link the video. So as many as I can, I will link above, or I'll try to link it below if I run out of room. Stay home. Number 29, Leo says stop using credit cards. Me personally, I'm in a place where I can use them responsibly, so I do use credit cards appropriately. But if you are in the habit of spending and are easily able to get out of control with that, that might be a really good option to just stop using them for a little bit anyway. Number 30, cancel subscriptions. If you have any subscriptions, I mean, I'm sure we've touched on this at some point. If you have any subscriptions that you're not using, of course, cut those off. Don't waste your money on stuff you're not using. Number 31, make your own. In this example, he uses, they made a bookshelf out of some simple lumber. I'm not very handy with this kind of stuff, so making my own for like practical things around the house, maybe I could, and there's definitely enough material on Pinterest to teach you how. So that's definitely an option. Make your own instead of purchasing. Number 32, do it yourself, DIY. We all know this. Pinterest, Google, possibilities are endless. 33, stop paying interest. This is where we get back to those credit cards. If you're not paying it off monthly and you're accruing interest, no good. Really look into things that you're paying interest on, because that can be a killer. I have a person in my family that was paying, what was the credit card? The interest I think was 25 or 30%. When I found this out, I nearly just passed out. Whew, watch that interest. If you're paying interest places, examine it and make sure you're not wasting your money there. Number 35, travel frugally. There's so much information on this on the internet, on YouTube here. If you're going to travel, make sure you're doing it frugally. I'm not the person to ask for frugal travel tips. I rarely travel at this point in my life, so someone else could share much better than me on that one. Number 36, cut the cell phone. Leo, really? No, that could be an option. For me, it's not. For my business of Kaden here on YouTube, and for many other reasons, I choose to keep my cell phone. But if you're really in a pinch and you need to, that could be an option for sure. 37, cut your own hair. I've done it. If you've seen one of my other videos with my frugal tips, I've done it, and there's a million videos on how to cut your own hair. So if you are really trying to spend as little money as possible, you can definitely learn how to do that. 38, maintain stuff. He says it sounds like a no-brainer, but sometimes we don't take care of our stuff. Take good care of your stuff, and your stuff will last longer. You don't have to buy it again and again and again. Number 39 is save energy, and we've definitely talked about that, but there is a link on his thing for more tips on how to save energy, so check that out. Number 40, save on gas, and there's many ways you can do that. You can batch errands, you can drive less, and there's actually a link on that one too where there's extra tips, so check that out if you want to save money on gas. Number 41, only buy bargain clothing when you really need clothes. He's always talking about he has clothes with holes in them, and maybe he takes it a little too far. But I think we all have done that. You guys all have a ratty t-shirt you've kept for years, but you just love it. But yeah, always bargain shop. I would never pay full price for anything. Hello. 42, telecommuting. I don't think people use that term as much anymore. Work from home. If you have the opportunity to work from home and that could work for you, obviously it saves money on gas. you can work in your underwear. And he talks about not having to eat out. There's a lot of stuff that could be hugely beneficial if you can get to work from home and not have to drive to work and do all that. That's not for everybody, but if that's an option for you, might be worth exploring. 43, plan ahead. I talk about this all the time, right? If you're gonna go run errands, make sure you have little snacks, make sure you have a water bottle so you don't feel inspired to buy things on the go. If you're thinking a couple steps ahead, you can definitely save money and avoid those impulse buys. Number 44 is cook ahead. I think we already talked about this earlier. That's what I'm doing right now. On the weekend, I'm cooking up all my meals for the week and then putting them in containers and bringing them to work all week. People say that's also called food prep day. A lot of people do it on Sundays. Definitely helpful. Number 45 is wash clothes less. And I've talked about this before. I said, don't think I'm gross, but if I wear something and it's not dirty, I might just hang it back up, because why wash clothes that doesn't need to be washed? Number 47, eat less meat. Huge proponent of this. I'm more of a meat on the side girl, except right now for my lunches, I am making chicken that I'm baking for work, and I'm mixing it up with onions and mushrooms, so that is my main meal, but often I try not to have a lot of meat in my groceries to save money. Number 48, save on groceries. You guys, we talk about this all the time. That's one of the biggest areas you can save money on. I won't get into it in this video because we already know. Save on your groceries. Watch my video on how I save on groceries. It's a great one. 49, Frugal Christmas. If you have not watched my Christmas in July video, I'll either have it up here or down below. If you're not thinking about Christmas yet, you're doing yourself a little bit of a disservice, unless you really don't have to buy a lot of stuff or it's very small on your priority list. But saving for Christmas is a really great idea to do early. If you haven't watched that video, please do. I'm talking about how I'm slashing my Christmas budget in half this year, and it might give you some motivation on cutting yours also. And finally, Leo says, number 50, eat a cheap breakfast. I could have breakfast, lunch, and dinner. I love breakfast. I think I talked about that in my frugal meals video, but I love eggs. I love avocados. You know, that's one of my favorites. Toast, French toast, pancakes, and it's all so affordable, right? So eat a cheap breakfast, but in general, you know, I'm going to say all your meals, try to get them a little bit more frugal. Thank you, Leo, for making this blog post, the Cheapskate Guide, 50 Tips for Frugal Living. I seriously don't know if I would be as passionate about this or even be into this had I not read this blog post. So thank you, Leo Babauta. You're the man. At this time, please leave me what your favorite frugal tip from Leo was, and hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the bells so you know the next time we do a frugal video. I'm so glad you guys are here. I can't even tell you how much I appreciate you, and this is probably the longest video I've ever done, so if you've made it to the end, you rock. See you guys next week. Happy Frugal Friday!